everybody, and welcome to the Stage Dive podcast, Gague Sessions. Now, I know you're all wondering, why did I name this the Gague Sessions? Well, the answer is quite simple. It's a podcast with Steve, which is me. I am Steve. The Gague Sessions pretty much contain reminiscing moments of my teenage years, if you will. Maybe a sort of a podcast blog of sorts. So I'm pretty much going to talk about bands that influenced me. I always played music for, as a hobby's sake, nothing like a career choice. And I still do when I can, whenever I can. Now, one of the bands that I was really into back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean high school, was Avenged Sevenfold, also known as A7X, where a lot of people now either love them or despise them. Who knows? It's a 50-50 band. It's most likely because they changed their sound drastically right after their second record, which was known as City of Evil. And that's the record that actually got me into them. Mind you, I didn't know what metalcore was back in the day, and Avenged Sevenfold did have a phase of metalcore. But Avenged Sevenfold was always the type of band that changed their sound to a certain point, but kept a certain, vibe towards their style of music when they were writing. So let's get into it. Avenged Sevenfold was formed in 1999 in Huntington Beach, California. And they released 7 records now. And the one I'm most likely going to focus on would be City of Evil, since that's the album that taught me how to play drums. Where I used to put on that record 24/7 so I could learn how to play each and every song. So I used to put it on loop. So as I mentioned before, City of Evil, that was the album that really got me into this band. Originally, I couldn't stand them. I couldn't stand them at all. There was something constantly making me go back and watching their videos on YouTube. And those songs are obviously from the record City of Evil, as I mentioned, like 3 times now, which came out in 2005, by the way. What? Anyways, now that record, I'm also gonna rank the Avenged Sevenfold albums later on, even though I shouldn't be ranking these albums because I like them all to a certain extent, but I will, because everybody loves ranking stuff and categorizing things. This record, City of Evil, is 72 minutes and 43 seconds long. And it's funny, it's actually considered heavy metal and hard rock. I feel like City of Evil had more of a punk-based feel than just heavy metal and hard rock. You do hear it a lot in Beast in the Harlot, which is their opening track. Great opener, by the way. Awesome way to intro a song. And it has a great part in the middle of that track where it's not really a breakdown, but it breaks down the song into this like little double pedal part with a miniature, snare solo. Very, very short snare solo. And then it breaks down to this like fast singing / rapping style of lyricism. We're talking about lyricism. It's not fucking lyrics that are rhyming, but you know what I'm trying to say. It has that little fast singing part. And then it's obviously followed by that wonderful song that is actually most likely my favorite off this record. It's called Burn It Down, where it has, again, another punk beat to it. Very fast paced, very aggressive. And I'm going to get into the live performances of Avenged Sevenfold later on, towards the end of the pod. Burn It Down gives this really aggressive vibe when the pit is aggressive, but in a friendly way. It's not, there's no like a lot of headhunting. It's more a lot of aggressive pushing, except for one show. Anyways, followed by Blinded and Changed has a nice drum solo in there. And of course, Bad Country is what everybody listens to that just gets into Avenged Sevenfold, because this record is honestly a good gateway. Actually, Avenged Sevenfold is a good gateway band that's a bit heavier than majority of gateway bands. And they do have some good technical writing in there. As much as people talk shit about this band and say that they gone mainstream, there's some good writing behind that mainstream style of their music. Bad Country, again, it's a great song. And it has that nice vibe, like hardcore vibe to it. Obviously, it's about like drugs, and it's related. I think it's like based off that movie Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. Great film. followed by Trashed and Scattered, fun song. I gotta place that with Blinded and Chained. These are songs that I would listen to frequently. Seize the Day, which is a little fun note on that song. It's actually when I just started learning how to play drums, I actually took some lessons, and I was in music class in high school. Those lessons didn't last long. With my ADHD, there's no way I could focus, so I like teaching myself. Yeah, and music class in high school, forget it. I had the worst teacher you can ask for. We already had a guy that knew how to play drums, so I was stuck on the xylophone majority of the time, so I barely fucking tried the drums there. I didn't even try going for the school band. So, like, what Seize the Day is actually one of the first ballads I've learned. From, like, when I was a beginner drummer, I was actually amazed when I would sit down and listen to this song where it does sound so easy to play, which now, if I look back, I would maybe make fun of myself and say, hey, this song is actually easy to play, buddy. But when I just started learning drums, didn't have any experience, I actually found this song perfect to follow and notice the small little intricacies the Rev does, rest in peace by the way, bud, in his style of drumming, which makes a great ballad. And Sidewinder gives me a desert feel, great song. The Wicked End, amazing beginning. It does become quite repetitive and makes the song feel longer than it should. And same with Strength of the World. Very good writing in that particular song. Betrayed has a fucking it's the other one of my other top songs on this record. In the beginning has a very doomy gothic feel where it's nothing related to the style of music, but it just gives me that vibe. Very good song. Great writing in it. And MIA is a great way to end the record. It's not a big blast and smack in your face style of song, but it has a good meaning to it. It's for the veterans, for the soldiers that fought in the war. It doesn't feel like almost a 9-minute song at all, but great way to end the record. It's not the hardest song to play, which it's a good song to start off with, learning how to play double pedal. It's not the most complex double pedal you could ask for, but it works well with the song. You know, one thing I notice as I gain more experience in music is that it doesn't have to be complex to sound good. Simplicity in music and the way you write a song with that, I guess we could quote it in simplicity, provides better quality at times. And that's what Avenged Sevenfold could provide us. Not with all their songs, they have some complex riffs in their writing style, but in this particular MIA song, that's what I get the feeling I get from it. But again, great song. Now, if we're ranking, because I know a lot of people like ranking songs in the record, and I guess, and I said, as I mentioned before, records in general, I'm gonna rank these songs. So every time I'm at a bar or anywhere, a good amount of people ask me, "Oh, how would you rank this album? Where would you rank it in the categories of all the records? Or what songs would you rank at the top? What's your top 3 songs?" So I'm gonna fucking do it right now because people got to know, or wants to know, I should say. Burn It Down, number 1. Number 2, Betrayed. Number 3, Bad Country. Number 4, MIA. Number 5, Beast and the Harlot. Number 6, Sidewinder. Number 7, it would go to Blinded in Chains, followed by number 8, I believe, Trashed and Scattered. Number 9, The Wicked End. And number 10, Strength of the World. But they're all great songs. All amazing songs. Now let's get into the ranking of Avenged Sevenfold's records. And then we're going to get into some experiences of live performances from them. And here we go. And this is probably going to be brought up in another episode somewhere down the line. Who knows? I have to rank their studio albums. It would be City of Evil number 1, number 2, Sounding of the Seventh Trumpet. Yes, the 50-50 album. 50 people love it, 50% hate it. Just like the band in general. I love Sounding of the Seventh Trumpet. So City of Evil number 1, number 2, Sounding of the Seventh Trumpet, number 3, Waken the Fallen. Great freaking record. Number 4 was hard for me to choose. It's stuck between Self-Titled and The Stage, and I'm going to give it to Self-Titled followed by The Stage. So number 5 is The Stage. Number 4 is Avenged Sevenfold self-titled. Number 6 is Nightmare. Number 7 is Hail to the King. All great records, though. It's just if I have to rank it in its, I guess, writing compatibilities to my liking, that's how it would be. But I do enjoy all their records, and I do believe they're writing a new one soon. And you know what? Let's challenge them. Write us a fucking new metal record with a hint of maybe borderline metalcore and obviously your progressive styleness in it. But let's hear some new metal, man. I want to see. I'm actually. New metal's coming back now, so let's see if Avenged Sevenfold hops on that bandwagon. Let's see that happen. Avenged Sevenfold, write a new metal record. And yes, live performances from Avenged Sevenfold. I most likely have seen these guys maybe 5-6 times, and each time was a great performance. I've seen them several amounts of times at Heavy MTL. I've seen them open for System of a Down. Great, I got to experience some oldies. But there's one particular show that I got to bring up, which was when they released their self-titled Avenged Sevenfold record. Obviously, everybody knows the song Scream. And, yeah, when that song went on, there was this beautiful blonde woman right in front of me and in the pit, and we're just going to, leave it at that and let your imagination flow. All right, there. We're just getting ahead of ourselves, right? Their stage performance, their light shows, the quality of their sound, amazing. They use a lot of props, which is great. A lot of bands don't do that as much. They use some fireworks. They do play a good mix of their albums. I think my least favorite performance from them was when they opened from Metallica, where they played a C-Class show, which was majority of their songs were singles, which was not as preferable as a Class A style of performance from them live. I gotta say that when I saw them when Hail to the King record was released, Hell Yeah actually opened for them, which was a great band. I went with one of my boys. We were expecting the pit to not be as, competitive as usual, but I was very surprised, especially when they hit some oldies. The crowd went wild, and it was quite of a brutesy pit, man. Brutesy pit. And like I mentioned before, the Gague Sessions is not an album review. It's more of a blog of me rambling, me as in I, Steve, rambling, and to give you all some content and, fill up your day with a good 15-minute show. So guys, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to stay punk and stay metal, and have a great night. Karinita.